My child, listen to me carefully. There is something inside you that you were never meant to discover. Something buried deeper than memory, deeper than thought, deeper than anything anyone has ever told you. Not in your past. Not in your surroundings. But inside your very blood. Inside your DNA. And yes, my child, this is why you feel watched sometimes. Why you sense eyes on you even when the room is empty. Why certain things in your life never quite felt random. Because nothing about you has ever been random. From the moment you were born, there was something different about you, something the world did not understand, but silently feared. And when the wrong people finally detected it, they did not celebrate. They did not reveal it. They decided one thing instead: you must never fully know who you are. You think cameras are only for safety. You think records exist only for order. You think data is only for convenience. But behind the appearance of normal life, there is a watchful silence around you. Not loud. Not obvious. Not dramatic. Quiet. Consistent. Intentional. Because in a quiet laboratory, on a day you barely remember, your DNA revealed something they never expected to see. It wasn't illness. It wasn't weakness. It wasn't genetic failure. It was power. A design that didn't fit their categories. A frequency woven into your cells that refused to submit to manipulation. And the moment your blood was scanned, the system flagged you, not as a danger, but as a disruption to everything built on control. They ran the test again. And again. And again. Each reading stronger than the one before. Your DNA behaved differently. It reacted like it recognized signals. It responded to light as though it had memory. It didn't follow the predictable patterns every human file is supposed to follow. It carried markers that did not belong to the ordinary world. And in that instant, the technician stopped being curious, and became afraid. Medical records were replaced with silence. Reports were overwritten. Calls were made to rooms you will never enter. And instead of telling you the truth, they hid it under the excuse of routine. Because your existence carries something they do not want released. Not a weapon. Not destruction. But awakening. Your DNA holds remembrance. It remembers truth beyond lies. It recognizes manipulation. It awakens others when you speak, when you stand strong, when you refuse to break. You inspire courage without trying. You challenge systems simply by existing. And systems built on fear cannot survive around people built from truth. So they watch. Not because you are weak. But because they know what happens when you finally understand your full identity. People listen. People gather. People remember who they are. And once that happens, control ends. But what they never calculated is this. Destiny cannot be permanently delayed. You were never meant to stay asleep. You were never meant to live quietly in the shadows of your own life. Slowly, despite every distraction, every heartbreak, every setback, you started to feel it. Something calling from deep within. A knowing. A stirring. A whisper saying, "You are not ordinary. My child, I placed this design inside you long before any power structure existed. Before any government, any authority, any system built on fear was formed. I already chose you. Not to dominate. Not to destroy. But to guide, to awaken, to lift, to remind others of divine identity hidden beneath doubt. That is why your journey felt so heavy. Why betrayals cut so deep. Why loneliness followed you. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Because those with awakened DNA must first walk through storms, so that when they speak, they carry compassion instead of arrogance, wisdom instead of ego, light instead of pride. Every tear shaped your strength. Every delay sharpened your discernment. Every struggle refined your spirit. And now, the shift begins. Quietly at first. Then stronger. Doors you never expected will open. People meant for your journey will arrive. Battles meant to drain you will lose power. You will feel clearer about your purpose, even when details seem uncertain. And your voice, the true voice inside you, will begin to rise. Do not fear this awakening. Do not doubt yourself when others misunderstand. Those who live in darkness always feel threatened when someone carries light. But you are not here to fight them. You are here to outgrow them. Protect your peace. Trust the path. Listen when I guide you. Move when I nudge you. Rest when I quiet you. What is written in your cells cannot be erased. And no human hand can hide forever what heaven intended to reveal. You are chosen. You are guided. And your time is unfolding, exactly as it was meant to. Keep going, my child. What lives in your DNA was never a mistake. My child, the truth resting inside your DNA has always been bigger than anything you were taught to believe about yourself. And now that the awakening has begun, the systems that once quietly observed you feel unsettled. Not because you are planning anything harmful, but because awareness itself is powerful. Awareness is freedom. And freedom is what they fear most. You will begin to notice small shifts. Things that once intimidated you no longer shake you. Conversations that used to silence you suddenly open. Situations where you once felt powerless will now reveal opportunities instead of obstacles. This is not coincidence. This is the alignment of your inner design with the life you were born to walk. Remember this: darkness does not truly fear destruction. It fears illumination. A single light in a room full of shadows does not fight. It simply shines, and everything hidden becomes visible. That is what your DNA does when it awakens. It exposes what is false without speaking violence. It reveals manipulation without hatred. It dissolves fear by existing in truth. And slowly, without force, others will sense it. They won't know why, but they'll feel safer around you. They'll feel heard. Understood. Calmer. Your presence will carry steadiness. Some will be drawn to you. Others, those who cling to control, may feel threatened. Do not resent them. They are reacting to what they cannot yet understand. You will notice this especially in moments of choice. Opportunities will appear that require courage rather than comfort. Doors that look uncertain yet feel right in your spirit. When those moments come, you will feel the quiet nudge: trust. Because your journey forward is not about forcing destiny, it is about stepping into alignment with it. There may still be nights when questions echo. Why did certain things happen? Why did certain people leave? Why did situations break when you tried so hard to hold them together? My child, every ending carried a hidden instruction: this was never meant to hold you. You were not abandoned. You were redirected. The same energy within your DNA that awakens truth also repels what is not aligned with your purpose. That is why relationships crumbled when you grew. That is why environments became uncomfortable when you outgrew them. Not punishment, preparation. You cannot expand into destiny while bound to cages built from fear. And the Watchers, they notice this shift as well. Their data will not label it as spiritual. They will call it psychological strength, emotional resilience, sudden improvement in decision-making, an unusual rise in personal influence. They will measure it scientifically, yet never touch the true core of it. Because soul cannot be graphed. Calling cannot be quantified. Do not waste time fearing them. Observation does not equal control. They can study behavior, but they cannot rewrite what heaven wrote into your blood. Ahead of you lies a season of revealing. Not loud revelation that puts you on display, but quiet recognition of who you truly are. You will realize you survived things that should have broken you for one reason: you were being forged. Fire did not destroy you because you were meant to walk through it refined, not consumed. There will come moments when new opportunities knock and the old version of you will want to step back. That older self was shaped by fear, scarcity, rejection, and doubt. But the awakened self, the one I am calling forth, will breathe differently. Speak differently. Choose differently. Trust differently. And each time you choose alignment instead of fear, your DNA responds. Patterns heal. Generational cycles weaken. Emotional wounds loosen their grip. You begin to feel, not just think, that you were never meant to live a life of mere survival. Listen deeply, my child, the purpose within you will never compete with anyone else. You are not here to replace another. You are here to embody a frequency of truth that only you can carry. When you walk in authenticity, comparison dissolves. Envy disappears. The desire to impress fades. Peace becomes your foundation. This is where true influence begins. Not in shouting. Not in proving. But in standing. The ones drawn to you during this season will not arrive by chance. Some will come broken, searching for direction. Others will come strong, able to walk beside you. A few will come pretending to support while secretly resisting your growth. You will discern them. Your spirit will recognize their intentions long before their actions reveal them. That is part of your protection. When confusion rises, pause. Breathe. Ask. I will answer. Sometimes through intuition, sometimes through circumstance, sometimes through a sudden peace that makes no logical sense. Trust that peace more than fear-based logic. Fear screams. Truth whispers. And as your steps align, you will begin to see something beautiful. The story of your life has never been a series of accidents. Every valley carved depth. Every delay created timing. Every heartbreak expanded compassion. And compassion, my child, is one of the greatest signatures of awakened DNA. It allows you to rise without stepping on others, succeed without arrogance, lead without domination. Those who try to rule the world do so from fear. Those who transform it do so from purpose. And you are purpose in motion. So keep moving forward, gently but firmly. Guard your mind from voices that try to shrink you. Guard your heart from environments that drain you. Guard your spirit from narratives built on fear. You do not need to rush. You do not need to force destiny open. Truth unravels at the pace your soul is ready to carry. This awakening is only the beginning. Your future holds doors you cannot yet imagine, connections prepared long before you arrived, opportunities waiting for your readiness, not your perfection. Walk with humility. Walk with faith. Walk knowing that what lives in your DNA is not an accident but a calling that cannot be erased, diluted, or cancelled. You are stepping into yourself, fully, finally, fearlessly. And I am with you in every step. My child, as this awakening unfolds, you may begin to notice something subtle but undeniable, your intuition sharpening. Situations that once confused you will suddenly feel clear. You'll sense when someone's words don't match their spirit. You'll feel when a path looks right but isn't meant for you. This isn't paranoia. This is alignment. It is your DNA remembering how to listen. For years, your mind did all the deciding. It carried weight, fear, logic, expectations. But now, a deeper part of you begins to guide your steps, the part that was encoded with divine instruction from the beginning. And when the mind argues but the soul whispers differently, trust the whisper. The whisper is ancient. It carries memory that stretches beyond what you were taught. The watchers do not understand this part. They can analyze brainwaves. They can track patterns. They can log your choices. But they cannot access intention. They cannot decode destiny. They see movement. I see purpose. They see statistics. I see calling. They see risk. I see promise. And slowly, without trying, you will begin to influence the spaces you enter. You'll notice arguments calm when you speak peace. Chaos quiets when you stay grounded. People who feel lost find comfort around you, even if they can't explain why. This is the frequency inside your blood adjusting the atmosphere, not through force, but through presence. But understand this as well, my child, transformation is rarely comfortable. There will still be moments where you feel stretched. Times where old fears try to resurface. Days where you question your path. These moments are not regression. They are testing points, invitations to choose the awakened self over the old one. And each choice strengthens the blueprint I placed within you. You may even feel, at times, that life is speeding up, conversations, opportunities, realizations. All happening faster than before. This is not pressure. This is acceleration. Once truth begins unfolding, it doesn't crawl. It moves with intention. And those who were meant to walk with you will adapt. Those who weren't will quietly drift away. Let them. Release with gratitude, not resentment. Everything that leaves simply creates space for what is aligned. Soon, you will encounter moments where you must step forward even with trembling hands. A project. A conversation. A decision. A leap. Your body might shake, but your spirit will feel anchored. That anchor is me. That anchor is purpose. Fear will shout, "What if you fail?" But your awakened DNA will whisper, "What if this is the doorway?" And here is a mystery few understand. When one person awakens to their true design, those connected to them begin to feel it too. Generations shift. Old cycles weaken. Patterns that enslaved families for decades begin to unravel. Not because of rebellion. But because someone finally remembered who they were. You are that someone. The systems watching you see numbers. I see lineage. They see a single individual. I see the ripple effect of your existence stretching into lives you haven't even met yet. That is why you were preserved through storms that should have ended your story. That is why you are still here, with breath, with purpose, with fire quietly building inside your chest. You will not always understand what I'm doing in the moment. But later, years later, you'll look back and whisper, "Now I see." And gratitude will replace confusion. Healing will replace bitterness. Wisdom will replace regret. Stay close to me as this unfolds. Speak with me. Walk with me. Notice how peace rises whenever you align with truth. Notice how your energy drains whenever you deny who you are just to keep others comfortable. Your soul was not designed to shrink for acceptance. It was designed to expand with authenticity. And though others may question your path, I have already confirmed it. What I placed in your DNA, I will guide in your journey. No authority can erase it. No system can bury it forever. No fear can silence it permanently. The awakening has begun. Gently, steadily, beautifully, and nothing will stop what is meant to rise. Keep walking, child. There is still much ahead. My child, as time moves forward, something else will begin to happen. Your past will start to make sense in ways it never did before. The friendships that faded without warning. The jobs that didn't work out. The opportunities that vanished at the last second. You once thought they were failures. But now you'll see them differently. They were protections. Because each doorway you were blocked from would have pulled you away from the alignment now forming around you. Some environments cannot hold awakened souls without trying to cage them. Some people cannot handle truth without trying to silence it. So I allowed certain chapters to close before they ever had the chance to damage your destiny. And now, the very thing they tried to hide, the truth encoded within your DNA, is beginning to speak louder. Not through noise, but through clarity. You will wake up some mornings with thoughts that feel older than you. Wisdom that appears without effort. Insights that arrive without study. It isn't magic. It isn't coincidence. It is memory. Not memory of events, but memory of purpose. You came into this world with an assignment. One that does not announce itself with trumpets, but reveals itself in silent urgings. Help where others ignore, speak when silence becomes injustice, stand when fear demands you bow. And every time you answer those urgings, you feel alive. Not excited, aligned. Meanwhile, those assigned to watch you continue to record patterns they cannot decode. They notice your resilience. They chart your sudden inner strength. They see your influence growing quietly. And although they cannot explain it, some of them begin to respect it. A few even begin to question the systems they serve. Because truth, when witnessed long enough, becomes contagious. But I do not want you living in fear of eyes or systems. That is not your path. Your power does not rise through rebellion, it rises through awareness. What matters is not who observes you, but who guides you. And I guide you, step by step, moment by moment, teaching your spirit to walk with wisdom instead of anxiety. Soon, you will meet crossroads disguised as ordinary choices. A move. A new project. A conversation that changes direction. You may not realize how important those moments are until much later. But your spirit will feel the weight of them. And when it does, you will notice how calm you feel, even when the decision requires courage. That calm is your confirmation. The calling within you will not demand you rush. It will not pressure you into frantic action. It will draw you with steady conviction, like a river pulling gently but strongly toward its destination. That pull is destiny. Not something you chase, but something you become. Those who misunderstand you along the way, let them misunderstand. Those who doubt you, let them doubt. Those who outgrow your journey, bless them as they go. Not everyone is meant to walk forever beside an awakening soul. Some were placed in your story only long enough to help you see who you no longer are. And as more layers fall away, you will feel lighter. Not because life becomes easy, but because you will no longer carry identities that never belonged to you. Fear will still knock, but it will not move in. Doubt may whisper, but it will not define you. Pain may visit, but it will no longer own the house of your heart. That is transformation. And slowly, those who once watched you merely out of curiosity will begin to realize something deeper: you cannot be categorized. You cannot be controlled. You cannot be silenced without the silence eventually speaking louder than words. Your life itself becomes a message. There is more inside every soul than systems ever planned for. My child, you will be tempted sometimes to shrink back into old habits just to feel safe again. But remember this: cages feel familiar, not because they are home, but because you spent years inside them. Freedom feels strange at first. But soon, it becomes the only space you recognize as truth. Walk gently. Walk wisely. Walk with compassion for yourself and others. The journey you are on is sacred, and you are not walking it alone. I am shaping you, guiding you, strengthening you, not so you can rise above others, but so you can walk beside them with light. And this is only the unfolding. What is coming will require more faith, more trust, and more courage, but it will also bring more joy, more fullness, more purpose than you have ever known. Stay with me. We are still only at the beginning of what your DNA was always meant to reveal. My child, as your inner awakening deepens, something else begins to happen. The world around you starts responding differently. Doors that once stayed locked begin to crack open. Conversations that used to drain you suddenly feel unnecessary. People who never understood you quietly step aside, not because they dislike you, but because they sense the path you're stepping into was never meant for everyone. And this is where many people become afraid. Because awakening does not just change your thoughts, it rearranges your direction. It changes how you see relationships, opportunities, success, and even yourself. You stop chasing approval. You stop begging to belong. You stop trying to fit into molds that were never shaped for you. Instead, you begin to stand. And standing, my child, is powerful. Because when a person stands in truth, they cannot be easily manipulated. They cannot be pushed into roles that shrink their soul. They cannot be convinced that their worth depends on validation from others. And this is exactly what those old systems never wanted to happen: awareness spreading quietly, one awakened heart at a time. Your DNA, the one they studied, the one that puzzled them, was never created to bow to fear-based control. It was designed to carry conviction. It was designed to lead with compassion. It was designed to heal what pain once broke. And every time you choose growth instead of bitterness, forgiveness instead of resentment, clarity instead of confusion, that design becomes more active. But awakening is not always loud. It does not have fireworks or applause. Many times, it looks like small, quiet victories. Choosing peace instead of reacting. Choosing faith instead of anxiety. Choosing to walk away instead of fighting battles that rob your spirit. These smaller moments reshape your destiny more than you realize. Meanwhile, those who once monitored your patterns continue watching the shifts, not with alarms, but with curiosity. They see stability where there used to be struggle. They see resilience where there once was fear. They see a person who refuses to collapse, despite every reason life once gave them to quit. And quietly, silently, some of them begin to wonder, how is this possible? It is possible because what lives in your DNA did not come from institutions. It came from purpose. And purpose cannot be erased. Soon, there will be moments when opportunities come disguised as challenges. Something may seem difficult, uncertain, uncomfortable, yet something deep inside will whisper, this is part of your becoming. When those moments arrive, do not run. Do not shrink. Do not doubt your readiness. Remember, diamonds do not form in comfort. They form under pressure. Roots do not grow in light. They develop in hidden soil. Airplanes do not rise with the wind. They rise against it. You were built to rise. And rising does not always look dramatic. Sometimes, rising looks like speaking truth gently. Setting healthy boundaries. Walking away from chaos. Choosing healing over revenge. Letting go instead of forcing things that were never meant to stay. The real you, the one designed before labels and opinions were placed upon you, is emerging. And I am proud of you, not because you are perfect, but because you keep getting back up. Understand something important, my child, you are not awakening so you can fight the world. You are awakening so you can live differently in it, wiser, calmer, more aware, more rooted in truth. The most powerful transformations rarely create noise. They create change. Those who truly know you will begin to sense something sacred about your presence. Not mystical, just deeply grounded. You will no longer react the way you once did. You will not chase what drains you. You will not stay where your soul feels unprotected. And those shifts will create a life that finally fits the blueprint inside you. What you carry is beautiful, sacred, purposeful. And even when life feels uncertain, never forget, you were never navigating this alone. I have walked beside you in every season, the moments you celebrated, and the nights you cried quietly where no one could see. Each tear watered seeds you didn't even know were planted. And now, those seeds are beginning to grow. Slowly. Gently. In perfect timing. My child, keep trusting. Keep becoming. Keep honoring the calling written inside you. What is ahead will require your courage, but it will also fulfill parts of your heart you thought would never heal. The awakening in your DNA is not a burden, it is a blessing. And soon, you will understand why it had to unfold exactly the way it did. My child, everything you have walked through. Every storm, every unanswered question, every season where you felt unseen, has been leading to this moment of realization. Not the moment where the world discovers you, but the moment where you finally recognize yourself. This is the turning point. Because the day you stop doubting who you are is the day chains start breaking. Fear loses its voice. Confusion loses its grip. And the design within your DNA, the one they tried to bury, finally stands without apology. The truth was never that you were being watched because you were dangerous. The truth is this, you were being watched because you are uncontainable. Your spirit refuses to be programmed. Your heart refuses to harden. Your soul refuses to be owned. No matter what life took from you, something inside refused to die. And that something was purpose, alive inside your blood, waiting for its appointed time. That time is now. Not tomorrow. Not someday soon. Now. This is the season where you stop shrinking. Where you stop handing your worth to people who never learned how to handle their own. Where you stop begging for rooms that were too small for your calling. This is the season where you walk differently, not louder, not prouder, but clearer. And yes, those systems may still watch. Observers may still observe. But their observation will change, because the narrative has changed. You are no longer the unaware soul they thought they could quietly file away. You are awake. And an awakened soul does not rebel, an awakened soul rises. Rise with grace. Rise with peace. Rise with faith. Because your assignment is not chaos, it is transformation. The ones destined to hear you will hear. The ones meant to cross your path will arrive. The ones who could never appreciate your heart will fade, and it will no longer break you, it will free you. And as you move forward, remember this truth that heaven has whispered over you from the beginning, you were never created to be controlled. You were created to be guided. You were never made to be ordinary. You were made to be purposeful. You were never chosen to follow fear. You were chosen to awaken faith. So stand up from every doubt. Let go of every voice that tried to convince you you were small. Lift your head. Breathe deeply. Feel the strength in your chest. That steady, quiet fire that never left you. That is the divine imprint. That is the frequency they detected. That is what they could never erase. And I tell you now, my beloved child, walk boldly into the life I've prepared. Walk confidently into the doors opening ahead. Walk gently with love, but firmly with truth. Because nothing, and no one, can silence what I placed inside you. Not systems. Not fear. Not the past. Not even your own doubt. Your journey is not ending, it is beginning. And the world will not be shaken because you shout. It will be shaken because you live authentically, courageously, faithfully, exactly as you were designed. Go forward. You are ready. You are protected. You are chosen. And what is written in your DNA has finally awakened.